name's Jenny, and this yoga is yoga for relaxation. So there are a few things I recommend that you pick up from around your house to bring to your mat. So the first thing would be some sort of blanket or tight woven towel. The next thing, if you have some yoga blocks, it's always a good idea for your practice, and you can get those pretty cheaply on Amazon or Marshalls or Walmart. And then finally, maybe grab a bolster. That's not likely something that you have at home, but you probably have some firm pillows or a couch cushion, something like that, that you can use for some support as well. So those are the props I would recommend for this practice. We're going to begin lying on our backs, but first we're going to take our blanket or towel with us. So if you need to go grab those props, just hit pause and then come back. Whatever you've got, hopefully it's tightly woven, we're going to just kind of roll it up like a burrito. And depending on how flexible you are, maybe going all the way with the roll is too much. So maybe start halfway. And then place it on your mat. And you want to place this right near the tips of the shoulder blade area when you lay down on your mat. So go ahead and lie down, and the whole thing is just kind of moving around and finding that sweet spot, okay? And so once you've found that, you can either straighten your legs or continue to have them bent, and your arms can rest out to the sides or onto your ribs or belly. And this is just a nice bit of pressure into that upper back, but also a beautiful heart opener. So let's just close the eyes down. Begin to open up your breath, taking some nice, deep, full inhales and exhales, letting your belly grow with each in-breath. And as you exhale, feel the navel just dropping back towards the spine. Relax into the support of this blanket or towel. Maybe you start to relax the low back. Relaxing the neck. Softening the muscles of your face. With the only awareness now just being on your breath, breathing in, breathing out. And now as you feel ready, if your knees are not already bent, bring the knees to bent, soles of the feet to the mat. Give it a little bit of distance between the glutes and the heels. I like to kind of open my arms up here, maybe like a cactus shape. We're simply going to windshield wiper the knees from side to side, super, super slow and controlled. And as we begin this movement, start to engage just gently and lightly through your core. So in yoga we use Mula Bandha, so you're going to squeeze the pelvic floor in and up. We'll activate Uddiyana Bandha, pulling the navel into the spine and kind of up, so like it's creating the shape of a J. And then knitting your low ribs together and activating your back muscles as though you're wearing a corset, and a corset is made of muscle. Squeezing all the way around. Good. Let's go ahead, take one more sweep to one side. And come back to center. And from here, take the arms out on a Y shape. Hopefully you have just a little room to spread out your arms, right? And then from this Y, with your arms resting on the floor, try to maintain them on the floor while pulling the elbows to bent and in towards like your hips a bit. And then open up to that Y shape and just kind of running the backs of the palms right along the floor. from the Y shape to the W shape, feeling that nice stretch all the way through the arms, the chest, the pectorals. Find some breath here. When you create this shape of the Y, inhale, expand, and when you bring the elbows in, exhale, pull in. Last one. Beautiful. And then we're going to go ahead and roll off of our blanket but back to our backs. So just kind of sit up, take the blanket out, move it out of the way for the moment, come on back down. Here we're going to draw our heels close to our glutes, place the hands down by our sides, and roll the shoulders one at a time underneath us towards each other. So shoulder blades kissing together on the back. From here, just kind of rocking the head a few times side to side, feeling the back of the skull massage into the mat. Coming back to stillness and beginning a small baby bridge. So I'm going to push into my heels and just sort of lift up. Remember, this is a nice, gentle, stretchy class. Good. And we'll just rock those hips a little bit if that feels good. Pulling the knees and tailbone forward. Say hi to Sammy Cat, who loves yoga too. And slowly bring it back down. Beautiful. Hug the knees to your chest. Give yourself a little bit of a rock around. Let's do that one more time. Heels down, close to the glutes, arms resting on the mat. Big inhale as your chin reaches up towards the sky, your chest lifts towards the chin. Now I might take that higher bridge, activate the glutes, keep the breath going, pull the navel in, lengthen through the spine, and slowly, one vertebrae at a time, come back down to your mat. Very nice. Let's go ahead, take those knees back in towards the chest, and just kind of rock them from side to side. You can continue with this rock or go for just a bit more core activation by tabletopping your legs, knees over hips, ankles in line with the knees, and toes facing towards the sky. You'll either want to cactus or tee your arms for some support here. Pull your low back to the floor, and then we'll start to drop those legs over to the right. Good, pulling them gently back up, using that core strength, and then over to the left. And we want to move slow here to avoid too much momentum. Really finding that activation of our core muscles. Stay with it a few more times. Or knees to your chest if you're taking it just a little bit easier tonight. And you're just still rocking and massaging that back into the earth. Lovely. Come back to the center. Take the legs straight up into the air like we have our legs against a wall. And just start to move your ankles and your feet and your toes. Exploring any snaps and crackles and pops that you can release here. There goes one. Lovely. Go ahead, bend those knees. Bring the soles of the feet back to the mat. The option to get up to seated is going to be to do a little rock and roll, knees to your chest, rock and roll on the spine, or to just roll on your side and come up. Meet me there in what we call easy seated pose. And if you find that sitting up tall and straight is sometimes a little bit of a challenge, this is where this blanket can come into play. So I like to fold mine up and just sit up on it. Lifting the hips helps to sit up a little taller, especially if we're tight. All right, from here, lowering the shoulders down, we're just going to take some movement through the head and neck. Take a nice big inhale, sit up tall. Exhale, drop the chin down. Inhale, lift the gaze, breathing slow. Exhale, back to neutral, ears over shoulders, looking forward. Take another big inhale, engage. Get tall, exhale, right ear, right shoulder. Inhale, pick the head up. Exhale, left ear, left shoulder. Inhale, pick the head up. Exhale, look over the right shoulder. Inhale, come back through the center. Exhale, look over the left. Inhale, come back to the center. And exhale, chin to the chest. Beautiful. Just hold here for a moment. Let the head be heavy. Good. On your next inhale, pick up your gaze and reach your arms up towards the sky. And on an exhale, tense your fingers right on top of your shoulders and try to widen your elbows out so they're in line with the shoulders versus being pulled too far forward. And if they're a little bit, we'll just work on squeezing the shoulder blades onto the back. And then start to circle your elbows, like you're just drawing circles on the walls with your elbows. And maybe you even use a little bit of fingertip massage on the shoulders. And then going the other direction. Fabulous. Go ahead and just kind of shake all of that out. Bring your right arm across your body and just cup under there with your, scoop under with your left arm and grab that right arm. And then bring your left hand towards your left shoulder. It doesn't need to touch, but it's going to pull the right arm in with it. Then drop the shoulder down. Very nice. And as you remain right shoulder dropped down, take a little tilt of the head away from the shoulder. So over to the left. Good. Bring the head back up and then just look over the shoulder. Bring the gaze back forward and inhale, reach your right arm to the sky. Pat your own back here with that right hand just on your right shoulder. Maybe the left hand comes up, gives you a little tricep stretch. Sit up as tall as you can. Let's avoid rounding the spine. Reach both arms up to the sky. Big inhale, breath, clasp the hands together. At the top, roll the palms over, lift your chest. Good, looking forward, releasing those hands, maybe shaking out the fingertips again. Left crosses across the body, right comes underneath, grabs it, right hand going towards that right shoulder, pulling the arm in. Notice how the left shoulder is going to have a tendency to climb up by the left ear. Simply going to drop it down and then move my head away from that shoulder. Just another nice neck stretch. Make sure your jaw is soft and relaxed. Pick up the head, inhale, exhale, look over your left shoulder. Come back to gaze forward, reach the left arm to the sky. Bend the elbow, pat your left shoulder. Bring the right arm up and just give it a little squeeze so that the fingertips move further down your back as long as you can sit up tall. Good. Gently release both arms into the air. Inhale. You're going to clasp the hands once again at the top, and this time give a little tug. Right fingertips on the left. Set your left sit bone deep into the floor as you lean off to your right. We're going to hold here for several breaths, focusing on creating some space between the left hip and the left lowest rib. So just feel that stretch, expand. And then grow into it by taking a breath into your left lung, feeling the left rib cage expand. Beautiful. Let's bring it back up to the center. Once again, flipping the palms, reaching for the sky, lifting the heart, stretching all the way from the pubic bone, clear up the front side of your body. Flip the palms back over, leaning to your left, pulling on the right fingertips. Now push your right sit bone to the ground. Create the space between the rib cage and the hip. And then breathe into that right lung. Feel the ribs expand. Come all the way back up to the center. Release the hands, shake it out. I'm going to come off my blanket for this one. I'm going to open up through the chest and collarbones a bit. So go ahead, bring your feet out in front of you on your mat. Maybe heels down, maybe toes down. I like heels down. You're going to swim those arms back and really consider pulling the shoulder blades onto your back, reaching back with the hands. Start to crawl those hands back. The other option, crawl your bum forward. But either way, I'm going to avoid kind of sinking into this, but rather lift through the heart and the chest. Keep the head in line with the spine, and just focus on this stretch that you're feeling, front of the chest, front of the shoulders, across the collarbones. We get really tight here, especially if we have desk jobs or if we're cycling a lot, texting a lot, all those things. And if it feels good, just rock your knees a little. Now think about the way you were sitting before. Easy seated pose. Which leg do you just kind of go for in front? Now switch it. Come on and sit back up, but as you do, bring the hands together, clasp them behind your back, fingertips clasping together. Go ahead and let there be some space, like maybe you're holding a tennis ball in between those palms, fingertips clasped. Inhale, and then exhale, and just begin to fold over your legs any degree, keeping your spine long, and as you do, let the fingers float back where they will. And then inhale, set up nice and tall. From here, imagine now there's maybe a grape in between your palms and you want to squish the grape. So now try to bring the palms together even though the fingers are clasped and the knuckles towards the floor. Beautiful. And as you release those fingers, go ahead and just roll out your wrists several times in one direction and then in the other. All right, fabulous. Let's come onto our hands and knees, tabletop position. If you have that blanket or towel, you can feel free to pad up with your knees, under your knees if that feels best. Wrists under shoulders, knees under the hips. Core still engaged, lengthen out through the spine. And let's just take some rounds of cat-cow. So you're going to inhale, begin to sweep the belly low, heart forward, and look up. As you exhale, round the spine, push into your mat. Look back towards your belly. Inhale, flip the toes over, dig them into the mat, open up your heart. Exhale, toenails click back down to the mat, push into the tops of your feet, round your spine. Good, I recommend closing your eyes now here if that's comfortable for you. Just feeling your breath start to guide you. Let your movement match the pace of your breath. And create that connection, that thread between the breath and movement. Just a few more rounds here. Beautiful. Go ahead and come back to neutral spine and just start to shake out anything that you need to here. Wiggle your hips. Beautiful job. From here, we'll bring our right foot forward into a bit of a lunge. And this is where your blocks might come in handy. So we're going to stay in this lunge, stretching the hip flexors a little bit. The blocks will help you have more space to do so. If this left knee is sensitive, I recommend popping the left knee back if you have the ability and the flexibility to do so, so that you're more on the lower part of the thigh instead of the bony part of the knee. Keep your hips squared, place the right knee over the ankle, start to pull your heart forward, and we're just going to settle in here, imagining our hip bones just growing heavier and heavier towards the earth. You can look down the bridge of the nose, staying in your breath, or possibly close the eyes. Let it warm up, let it feel a little achy, that's all okay. All right, let's take and back that off just a little bit. Maybe coming to more like 290-degree angles here with our hips and knees. And then come on up to hands on the right thigh. Push into the thigh to sit up nice and tall, creating some space here, lifting out of your hips. Then imagine lengthening from the crown of your head, squeeze your left glute a bit, push down into your right foot, and then lower the chin to the chest. Scoop the tail slightly under and feel that hip flexor and quad on the left side. If the balance is there for you, we'll take an inhale, one breath to reach the arms up, lift the heart, a little bit of a back bend. Exhale, paintbrush the hands down to those blocks if you have them. And then wiggle your right foot out in front of you a bit till you can straighten the right leg, lift the right toes to the sky. Square up the hips once again, and then imagine shooting your hips back and head forward. Good. Once again, we'll stay a little while in this half split, just feeling the nice sweet warming of the leg. And then slowly release the right foot back down to the floor. You might need to do a few little adjustments here, but we're going to pick that left knee up now. So curling the toes under, coming into a bit of a lunge here off of the ground. And again, still maybe using the blocks. I'm going to push deep through that left heel like I want to touch the wall behind me with it. Nice calf stretch, breathe. Now we'll pick ourselves a little bit higher up, pedaling that left heel down to the right on a 45-degree angle. Now if I'm quite sticky and tight here, I'm likely that my right hip just kind of floated way forward with me. So I'm going to pull the right hip back as I push into that left foot, trying to square the hips for a pyramid pose. And again, those blocks come in handy. But if I don't have blocks, maybe I'm using my fingertips here. Another option is one fingertip and maybe a little bit of a hold on the leg, but I prefer hands to be on equal level playing field here. And just continue to breathe as you shoot your head forward, your tail back, and square the hips to the best of your ability. If you have those blocks with you, you're going to take them on our journey to the other side of the mat to turn around. So simply take a nice deep breath, start to walk your blocks over to the left as you turn your toes to face the long edge of your mat. Good. Toes slightly, very ever so slightly turn out, mostly straight. Soften your knees, set your sit bones high, and start to dive into a deep forward fold. You don't need the blocks here, just leave them close by and let them go. Now you want to shift your sit bones to the sky and the top of your head to the floor, so we're not really holding on here. Option to grab at the ankles and kind of pull yourself deeper in if you're warmed up enough for that. Good. Crawl your hands back forward until you're almost in a half lift flat back, maybe onto those blocks, because like I said, we're going to take them with us now. I'm going to journey towards the other end of my mat, the back edge. As I do, flipping my left toes to face the back of the mat and putting that right foot on that 45-degree angle. Start to shift your right hip forward, left hip back as you pull into your pyramid pose. I want to avoid rounding out here, but rather let's keep some length so that we get a nice stretch in the muscles. Keep breathing. Avoid letting your shoulders tense up here. Let's pick up just the right heel, small adjustment, bend your left knee, come into a lunge and push out through the right heel. Lift your heart if you can, maybe higher on the blocks with the fingertips or take them to the next level. And now lower your right knee down. Very nice. And come into your half split here. Left toes face the sky, hips pulling as squared as possible to the back, or what used to be the front. And then the crown of the head reaching like you want to look way past that left foot. I'm not as concerned about being able to sit down here and finding this depth as I am about just working the planes here. So pulling the top of the head forward and the hips back. Finding that resistance, that tension that creates this beautiful stretch. Let's pop onto the fullness of the left foot, bending the left knee over the ankle. Look for those 90-degree or close to 90-degree angles. Bring your hands onto your left thigh, pushing into the thigh, sit up tall, but drop the shoulders. Squeeze the glutes, particularly your right glute. Maybe press down into that right knee to sit up even taller. Push down into the top of the right foot, the base of the left, and then exhale, drop the chin to your chest. Good. Gather that balance and strength as you inhale. Reach the arms up to the sky. As you exhale, paintbrush them back down to your blocks. And now if you can, pop that right knee back just a few inches so you're off of that bony part. And think that the hip bones are going to sink right down to the earth. And instead of sinking your upper body with it, we're going to find strength, lift through the heart, drop through the hips, keep breathing, maybe close the eyes. Your mind starts to wander in these deep, long holds. Just come back to watching your breath. Notice your body, the sensations. Stay right here with yourself on the mat. Beautiful. Pull that weight back a little bit. Pick up the right knee and walk those blocks back to the left edge of your mat, or what is now the right edge of your mat, for that forward fold. Just the same direction as we came before. Deepening the fold if that's available. And then inhaling to a half lift, taking the blocks, if you have them, back on that journey to what was the front of our mat. We'll go back to where we came from. Turn the toes around with you. Place the blocks on either edge of your mat. As you drop your hands down, sweep your right leg back to meet the left, and let's come into downward facing dog. Notice here you want your hips to go up and back. Stretching out the arms, sending the heart towards the thighs. One great little tool you can use, actually two tools. One, you can check your hand-foot placement by coming into a strong plank with your bum out of the air, and then down dog without moving hands and feet. To get the hips in good placement, roll the inner elbow creases forwards for extra support on the shoulders. Drop the knees down as you bend the knees, not all the way to the floor, just hover. Shift your hips back, 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 and then hold those long arms while you lift the hips again. Good. So walking that dog, bending one knee and then the other. Journey your way to the top of the mat, walking the hands towards the wrist creases into a forward fold with feet hip distance apart this time. Slowly begin to find your way upright. I'm going to walk the hands just right up the legs. The last thing to come up will be the head. Finding your mountain pose. Check your posture. Stand tall, stand well. Inhale to reach the arms towards the sky. And on an exhale, swan diving back into your forward fold. Bring the hands to the mat, step back to plank. Slowly take the knees to the floor or one knee at a time. And then make your way down to your belly, take your time. We're going to stretch our arms out in front of us a bit here. Maybe they come off the mat onto our fingertips or on the palms into a version of a cobra, just a small one, lifting your heart up here with extended arms and then pulling your heart towards the fingers while pulling the fingers back towards you without moving the hands. So just think of gripping the floor, pulling the hands back towards you and your heart forward. Nice stretch for the abdominals here. Go ahead and turn those palms in, make a little pillow for your head, and drop your forehead to your arms. And just take a little rock of the pelvis from side to side. Now I'm going to outstretch just my right arm here onto the floor, straight out from the shoulder, and then use the left hand for some support, coming into a scorpion, just rolling onto your right side, making that little scorpion tail with your left leg, kind of reaching it back. Doesn't need to touch the floor. In fact, I'd prefer if it doesn't. Think of the stretch you're getting here in your hip flexor as you bring your left heel towards the back of your head here. Nice stretch on that right shoulder as well. Good. Roll gently and slowly back onto the belly for Cobra 2 with hands underneath the shoulders. Now squeeze the glutes a little more firmly. Press into the mat with your pelvis and then lift up, and this time a little bit higher if that's for you. Again, just keeping the chest moving forward, the glutes active, shoulders down. Hi, buddy. And slowly release. We'll take that left arm out to the side and then roll to the left, making that nice scorpion tail here with our right leg. This could also be done with a strap if you're really tight trying to get in there, or you can actually grab the foot as well. But I kind of like the effort in this scorpion pose of finding my own way. Good, and then roll it gently back. Take the hands underneath the shoulders, press back into child's pose. So a little counter pose for that low back, but around the spine a little. Stretch the arms out, soften down, breathe. Bring ourselves back around to our seat next. I'd like to be about mid-mat as I come to my seat, and then extend the legs out for a moment and give the knees a little massage. We've been on the knees a lot in those nice leg stretches. From here, inhale, reach the arms up, press down into your sit bones, into the backs of the legs, and then hinge forward into a forward fold. You could always grab a strap, a towel, or your blanket here, and just fold. You'll notice that I'm trying to keep the spine long here. If I have to go any deeper, I'm going to find that there's some natural rounding in the spine, but I'm not trying to create this like curvature. I'm still focused on length. Looking towards your toes, take a slow inhale, rise back up. Drawing your right foot into the inner left thigh to any degree here, kind of makes like the shape of a figure 4. Reach the arms to the sky. We'll take the fold here over the left leg. Remember when we glued our hands down in that cobra, glue your hands to your leg, your ankle, or your foot, and then imagine pulling your hands back towards you as you reach your head forward like you're going to kiss your toe. Just notice where the sensations are. Breathe into it. Beautiful. Kitty's a little ornery tonight. Inhale. Sit back up nice and tall. Keep the legs as they are. Reach for the sky. And then just kind of turn your torso slightly to the right, dropping your right hand behind you, left arm to the sky. From here, you can just continue to stretch open or find a little bit of lift here, coming off of your mat, picking up your hips, picking up your bum, lifting through the hip bones, arching through the back of it. And slowly return right where you came from. Nice job. Now I'm going to take the right foot or right shin, parallel it to the front of the mat, and then wrap this left foot back by my left outer hip. So I've got this bent knee and maybe about a 90-degree angle here or so. Put the left knee on the diagonal. Crawl the hands back behind you to any degree. So can remember where we had our chest lifted in the beginning, had a nice little stretch. We're just adding a bit of psoas, lots of quad and hip flexor. You can look down your belly or out in front of you. Maybe over some time, maybe if you take this class more than once, you can work down onto those forearms. If you do, keep your chest lifted and bright. And there's always the option to crawl it all the way down to the floor if that's available. We're going to stay wherever you landed for a few breaths. One thing's for sure, if you have pets and you do yoga at home, once you get on the floor, they will find you. All right, if you've taken it all the way to your back, we reverse course. So onto the elbows first. If you've landed on your elbows, onto the hands. And then from here, when you're upright, go ahead, shift your right leg out, lean over to the right, bring the left one around, and now we're in the figure four other side. Place your sit bones side by side. Take a deep inhale, reach up out of your hips, up and over into the fold. Lengthen through the spine, nose to toes. Come back to your breath. Consider where we're going next. Look at your toes. Maybe we can inhale, sweep the arms straight up into the air, turn the torso slightly left, drop the left hand down, right arm to the sky, maybe picking our hips up, finding a bit of a back bend here. Just let that arm float, let your head go where your gaze is happy. And gently return back to the earth. Left shin parallels the front of the mat. I kind of lean to the left to bend my right leg. The right knee is a bit on the parallel. It's already a little bit sticky to be here. So if you just need to stay upright and work this shape for a while, stay with your breath. Next step, we'll crawl the hands back a little bit, leaning back away from this big heavy stretch in the right leg. Maybe back down, to the forearms. Trying not to grow tension where it doesn't need to reside. Maybe all the way down to your back. If I find that my knee has lifted, that right knee, I probably want to go ahead and just work my way up one level, okay? Let's hang out wherever we've decided is the right spot for this side. It could be different than the last side. Close the eyes if you can. Take a focus into your breath, or if your pet's nearby, maybe give them a little love. This is Sammy Cat. My yoga buddy, huh? breaths here, my friends. Hopefully it's getting easier, not more challenging to be in this crazy shape. When you're ready, reverse course out. So if you're on your back, to your elbows. If you're on your elbows, to your hands. Lifting ourselves back up, and then simply bring the soles of the feet together. I'll turn to face you now because I can. But bringing the soles of the feet together, a good place to sit back up on that blanket. Mine has been overtaken by the cat. And then sit up tall, grab your ankles or your toes. Think chest towards feet as you hinge forward. Let your knees fall heavy, your thighs grow heavy. Imagine maybe somebody just placing like sandbags right on your thighs. You can even press down with your elbows if that feels good. Just avoid that inner knee, okay? Relax your jaw. We'll be here just a few more breaths. Slowly begin to inhale and rise back up. All right, nice job. From here, leave the legs as they are. Just take a small twist over to your right, grabbing your right knee with your left hand, right fingertips behind you. Drop the left leg open even more. Good, and then like you're sweeping everything off the desk, just sweep the arms across to the other side, sit up tall, take that twist to your left. So we really stretch the entire body today. We got our neck, our shoulders, our chest. Let's come back to center. We worked all the way through both side bodies, down into the hips, through the legs, and out through the ankles and feet throughout the whole class. So now it's time for everybody's favorite Shavasana. If you have that pillow, that bolster, or whatever you found at your house, we're going to utilize it here. If you don't have one, no problem. You could use your blanket or no props at all. I'm going to take my bolster, if I have it, or my couch cushion, or a couple of pillows, kind of lengthwise with my mat. Now, this is a very high bolster that I have here at home, so I'm adding a block. You might also do this if you have any back pain when we lean over the bolster. So I want to just tuck it to the base of my spine, lean back and let it support the length of my spine, my pillows, whatever I've got. If it's a big couch cushion, that's okay too. Just lean back into it. Anything that's uncomfortable, I can use these other props. So I'm going to put this little block underneath my sacrum here to hold that up. And then we're going to drop our arms open. So big heart opener. Again, we started in a small heart opener now. This might feel like a bigger one. Go ahead, fluff your nest. If you found that your props aren't for you tonight, you can just plop them out of the way and sprawl out on your mat. With your eyes closed now, maybe take a sigh and let your body feel the results of all of that beautiful stretching. Putting some gentle movement into the tissues, ligaments, and muscles. Relax your jaw, separate your teeth. Scan your body from the tip top of your head slowly down, and just find any areas that might have some residual tension still. And when you find it, what I do is I take a deep breath as though it's leading right into that tension. Imagine it just kind of swirling around, and then the exhale, relax, let the tension go with the breath. And just repeat the process over and over until your body feels completely at ease. Being human means your mind will wander off in all sorts of directions or get pulled by the sounds in your room, in your house, wherever you're at. Just make the choice to come back into this moment. Try to relax again. Follow the breath. Nowhere else to go just yet. If you can stay longer in your Shavasana, you have the ability, stay for 5 to 10 minutes, just clearing your mind and letting your body have this beautiful relaxing moment. If, however, it's time for you to move on, let's go ahead, wiggle our fingers and toes. Big breath in, full breath out. If you're on some sort of props, let's go ahead and come off of them very slowly. And then return to your seat, upright, tall. Bring your hands into Anjali Mudra, just grateful for all of the ways that your body moved with you through this practice. Come back to it time and again so you can continue to see the improvements in the body and hopefully in the mind. Let's go ahead, take another deep breath together. Thank you for joining me online. The light in me honors and salutes the light within you. Namaste. Sammy says namaste as well.